Hey everybody, welcome back. We are going through Unit 7 now for Ventures Level 3 ESL, and we're going to be talking about shopping, okay? And really specifically, we're going to be talking about saving and spending, okay? So let's define what those are. Let's find out what these two words are, the meaning. Saving, to reduce expenses, meaning how much you pay out of your pocket, your paycheck, or your bank account. Putting money aside or away, for example, a deposit account, a pension account, an investment fund, or as cash. Okay, so saving is putting away money. Let's talk about spending. To use all of a resource, to focus your energy on something or give someone money. An example of to spend is to give a retailer store money to buy new clothes. All right, so we have saving, to hold on to money, put money away, spending, to give it away. Why is it important to save money? Different people have different answers, right? My answer was to pay for important expenses in the future, such as college for my kids, a car, a house, or for retirement. So the question is, what do you save money for? You can take some time and write that down in full English sentence. I save money for important expenses like college, buying a car, buying a house, or for my retirement. What are some of the ways we save money? We can save money by putting our money in a bank account, putting our money in stock investments, putting our money in our work 401k, buying real estate, or some people just put the cash in their mattress. Works. So we've said that saving and spending are opposites. All right, from the definitions that we just went over, we see that saving and spending are opposites. One is to hold on to money, and the other one is to let go of money. Borrowing and lending are also opposites. We've talked about borrowing and lending before in the past in this book, right? So let's remind ourselves what borrowing and lending are. Okay, borrowing is to ask someone or bank for money, usually, right? And promise to pay it back. Lending is to give someone, usually money, and expect them to pay you back. Okay, so these two are opposites. One is asking for money, and the other one is giving money. And in both cases, we either have to pay it back or expect someone to pay us back. Okay? Let's let's turn over to page 84. In 84, depending on the book you have, this is the new book. For the new book, we have 5 pictures. Okay? And in the older book, I'm not sure, we might have 3 or 4 pictures. But the theme is the same. All right? The pictures are showing us the same thing when it comes to shopping. So we're going to listen to the audio in a little while about what's going on here. But before we do that, let's take a little time to look at these pictures and to answer the question, what do you see? Okay? Picture number 1. If I was to write down, what do I see? In picture number 1, I would write down, I see a car lot. This is where cars are bought and sold. Picture number 2, I would say that I see a car salesman. Has a big smile, hand out. We don't shake hands anymore, so that's changed. But he looks like he's ready to sell somebody a car. In picture number 3, I see 2 people talking about purchasing a car. Or I could say, I see a couple talking about purchasing a car. Number 4, I would say, I see the price tag for a car. I see a price tag for a car. It's $30,000. That's a lot of money. And then number 5, I see a used car sign. A used car sign. So the question is, what do you see? Let's take a little time to write down what you see in these 5 pictures and use full English sentences. Okay? Then let's think about what's happening here. I think these 2 people, maybe they're a couple, have gone to a used car lot to buy a car, and they are going to talk to the car salesman about the I guess this car that they're looking at here. And then the car is the price of the car, the cost of the car is almost $30,000. $29,785. That's a lot of money. The question is, what's the story? I think these 2 people are going to, I think these 2 people want to buy a car. All right, so page 85. Let's take some time and to listen to our track. If you have the new book, then you will have this barcode, and you can scan the barcode with your phone if you're not on your phone and listen to the track. Or if you have the older book, you can listen to CD number 2, track number 10. And let's take some time to listen, and then we'll come back and we'll answer these questions together. All right. Okay, number 2, listen. A, listen and answer the questions. Number 1, who are the speakers? The speakers are Ken and Julie. Question number 2, what are they talking about? They are talking about buying an expensive car. B, listen again. Complete the chart. Number 1, cost of a car. How much? How many? This one is already done for us. The cost of the car, of a new car, is $27,500. Cost of a car with tax and fees. I think it would be over $30,000, right? About $30,000 or a little bit over. Money in the savings account. So this would be how much money is in their savings account. And Julie said they have less than $8,000. Excuse me, $8,000. What is the interest rate of the car that costs $27,500? And the interest rate is going to be 4%. How many months do they have to pay on the car costing $27,500? That would be 60 months, 5 years. She made that pretty clear, 5 years. And then number 6, cost of a used car. Now she wants to go over to the used car lot to see if they can buy a car for $10,000 or less. So that's what I put down. How did you do? If you didn't get these, you might want to listen to the track again and see if you can find this information from the track. And the reason I say that is because I know they talk pretty fast. They had a pretty fast conversation. So if you hadn't had to play it a few times, then I know you might want to go back and listen to it again. All right, let's move on. Okay, so in this unit we are going to be talking about modal verbs. All right, we've talked about modal verbs back in ESL level 2, but they have come back again. So let's make sure we understand what they are. So let's go over the definition and some examples before we move on. Okay, so the modal verbs include can, must, may, might, will, would, should. Okay, and of course could. Okay, I'm going to add that one in as well, could. Okay, modal verbs are action words. Okay, they are used with other verbs to express ability, obligation, possibility, and so on. Below is a list showing the most useful modals and their most common meanings. Okay, so a modal verb, can. The meaning, to express ability. An example is, I can speak a little Russian. Can, again, this meaning is to request permission, right? An example is, can I open the window? May. The meaning of may is to express possibility. Possibility. Okay? I may be home late. May also is to request permission. Request permission, right? May I sit down, please? Must. Must is, the meaning of must is to express obligation. I must go now. Must also is to express a strong belief. A strong belief. She must be over 90 years old. Should. Should is to give advice. You should stop smoking. It's good advice. Would. To request or offer. Would you like a cup of tea? And then could. To make suggestions and requests. You could see a movie or go out to dinner. Okay? So I've highlighted should to give advice. The example is, you should stop smoking. And I've highlighted could to make suggestions and requests. You could see a movie or go out to dinner. We will be using these modal verbs in our next lesson here, in lesson B. Okay, so it was good that we went over this. Now let's take a look at lesson B, and let's turn over to page 86. Okay, page 86. Lesson B, modals, modal verbs. Number 1, grammar focus. Could and should. So we're going to be talking about the modal verbs could and should. Use could to give suggestions. Use should to give advice. So use could to give suggestions and use should to give advice. Should gives stronger advice than could. Okay? Should give stronger advice than could. Could for suggestions. You could get a smaller car and save money. Now these are suggestions, okay? Take it or leave it, you know, it's something for you to think about. Another example, he could keep his money in the savings account. He could, or, you know, he could put it under his mattress, he could put it into his checking account, right? He could give it to a friend. He could put it in a can and put it on a shelf and let it stay there, okay? Should for advice. So this is should give stronger advice. Okay, so this is stronger advice than could. What should I do? You should open a savings account. Okay, what should I do? Now I'm asking for advice. I'm not asking for a suggestion. I'm asking for advice. That means I'm probably going to listen to it, and I probably will, as long as it's good advice, I'm probably going to do what you say. All right. So my question is, what should I do? And the answer would be, you should open a savings account. Okay. So again, here we're talking about modal verbs. And the two modal verbs we're talking about are could and should. Could gives suggestions. Should gives advice, right? Should gives stronger advice than could. All right? Okay, let's turn over to page 80. Yeah, well, actually, let's keep on page 86 and let's go down to number 2. Number 2, practice. All right, so we've gone over modals, specifically could and should. Okay, we know what they are. We know how to use them here, right? Let's practice. A, right. Complete the sentences. Use could or should. So remember, could is suggestion. Should is advice. Should is stronger advice than could. Okay? Let's look at number 1. A, my rent is going up again. What should I do? What should I do? Here's my advice. You're a good tenant. I think you should talk to your landlord. Okay? Useful language. For suggestions, you can say, why don't you, then the verb, right? Why don't you go, right? In this case, it says, why don't, I would say, why don't you talk to your landlord? Why don't you go see your landlord, right? Why don't you ask your landlord, okay? Okay, next one is how about plus noun, right? So this could be somebody's name, for instance. How about John? How about Angie? How about you? Okay. And then the last one, how about plus verb plus ing? So my example would be, how about paying, right? How about walking? How about driving? Okay? That's useful language. So now let's take some time to do, read and finish number 2 through 8. And if you have the older book, I'm not sure what the numbers are, but they might follow something along this line, okay? Then we'll come back and we'll go over the answers together. All right, let's do that.